What's up, guys? So I want to talk about my theory on hot and cold approaches. Basically, the warmer or hotter the approach is, which means you already know the girl or you already know the person, then the more indirect you can go. Indirect as in a starting approach like, how is the weather, or something like that, like something that doesn't have to do with expressing your true intentions right there and then. Um, and the flip side of that would be if the approach is very cold. And so that would mean you don't know this girl at all. You can't really relate because you've just seen the girl and you're approaching. And the colder this is, then the more direct you kind of have to be. Not always, though. There's a number of exceptions, but generally, this theory sort of holds true. So that would mean if it's a very cold interaction and it's one of those moments where, let's say you're on summer vacation and you are kind of feeling like you would never see this girl again, and you kind of have to go up there, then you have to be quick because there are countless occasions where you let that moment slip and you never see her again, or you don't express what you're truly there for, and you start saying, going indirect, and she's just confused, and then she says, I have to go, I'm in a hurry, and then you never see her again. And these are those things where you're kind of forced to go somewhat direct. And there's a lot of people on YouTube who understand this, and regardless of whether they're just making prank videos or not, they do go direct, and they pretty much express their interest by usually commenting on something physical about her, like her hair or something like that, or doing it in a way where it's not completely vulgar, but still expressing that sort of like physical attraction. And they do this via like cheesy pickup lines or something like that, and that's not hard direct. It's direct with it's somewhat indirect, really, but at the same time it's very direct still because you're sort of implying it. And so you can kind of see how this sort of scale and this thing doesn't work perfectly because there's these shades of gray. What is direct, what is indirect? And so I think it holds true for the most part, and the whole idea behind it is you always want to go as warm as you can, and usually as indirect as you can, because if you're going too direct, it can screw up, unless of course you don't talk about something physical. Like when you're going direct, you tell her why you approach, but you do it in a non-physical way. So you don't say like, damn girl, your legs are fine, that's why I approached you. You say something about her personality, or what her outfit represents, and so forth. And so I guess the biggest exception to my theory would probably be like nightclubs or bars, or those sort of scenes where it is somewhat pretty much a cold environment where you probably don't know a lot of these people, and you can't, it's not like a party where they're friends of friends, and so you can't do a warm approach. And yet when you're at these bars and nightclubs, there's plenty of people going non-direct and plenty of people going direct as well. And that's a huge exception, because think about it, like, it's cold, you don't know the person, and yet because of the implicit vibe of the scenery you're at, just interacting with a person and going hard indirect, like just talking about the freaking weather or something completely unrelated, implies you're still hitting on the girl. So those are the exceptions. But like I would say, like in the daytime, or for people like me who don't really use the night scene, then usually you want some sort of if you have a choice, you always want to use the warm approach, try and get introduced by a friend or say, oh, I know that friend or something like that. Not always though, but that just works a lot better. It's you're viewed as a different perspective because now you're someone who she knows rather than just a stranger who has no real connection to any of her friends. And again, the same thing goes for my girl subscribers. I think the whole thing can work as well. But the difference is, I think for a girl, like, you can go freaking cold in whatever you want to a guy, even if he's a stranger. And if you're attractive enough, he'll probably be interested. That's kind of how it works sometimes. But it's a general thing, and I think the last thing would probably be, and probably the most important, is that you kind of have to realize when you can't go warm / indirect. Sometimes you do it and she doesn't understand, or she's like, oh, I get it, but you're being such a chump about it. You're lying, or I mean, it's hard to explain, but the girls will give you that face, like the face, the roll eyes face that they give when a guy gives a very arrogant, cheesy pickup line to a girl. That face where they're like rolling their eyes, and like that face you get when a very arrogant guy comes up to a girl and she's just like, yeah, you think you're all that, but you're not. And those are those situations where you kind of have to realize you shouldn't have gone so indirect to begin with, because it's just not really, honest, and more so than that, it's just very wimpy, and they appreciate just manning up. But again, these are all just theories. I hope you guys liked it and learned something from it. Peace.